There is great power in silence and even greater strength in mystery. The world may tell you to announce your every move, to prove your worth through constant display, but those who understand the true laws of success know this: never tell people what you do until your results speak for you. Every great dream begins as a whisper in the mind, fragile and pure. In those early stages, your vision is like a seed planted in delicate soil. It needs protection, warmth, and time to take root before it can grow strong enough to face the world. When you speak of your dreams too soon, you risk exposing them to forces that can weaken or destroy them: negativity, doubt, and distraction. Silence becomes the guardian of your vision, allowing it to mature within you until the moment it is ready to be revealed through action. There is a sacred power in privacy. When you keep your plans to yourself, you maintain full control over your mental environment. You protect your imagination from outside interference, from opinions that can cloud your clarity. Every word you speak about your goals releases a small portion of the energy needed to achieve them. The more you talk, the less energy remains for execution. Silence preserves that energy, directing it inward where it fuels your determination, creativity, and persistence. Those who talk too much about their goals often find themselves lost in the illusion of progress. They mistake discussion for achievement, praise for success. But words alone cannot move you closer to your dream. Quiet effort does. When you work silently, your focus sharpens. You become more disciplined, more determined, and more aware of what truly matters. You stop seeking validation and start seeking results. Your silence becomes a signal to yourself that your mission is sacred, that it deserves to be nurtured in peace, not displayed for approval. Doubt is another reason why silence is essential. Not everyone will see what you see. Some will project their own fears onto your ambitions. They will tell you that your dreams are impossible or unrealistic, not because you can't achieve them, but because they couldn't. Their disbelief, if heard too early, can plant seeds of hesitation in your mind. Even the strongest willpower can be weakened by constant questioning. When you keep your vision private, you shield yourself from that destructive influence. You give your belief time to strengthen until it becomes unshakable. There is also the subtle danger of envy. When others learn of your plans, not everyone will celebrate your determination. Some may quietly wish for your failure, while others may attempt to copy your ideas or undermine your progress. Silence prevents those external interferences. It allows you to move strategically, without attracting unnecessary attention. Your growth remains unseen but powerful, unfolding naturally until your results speak for themselves. Moreover, silence cultivates humility. It keeps you grounded and connected to your purpose. When you don't need to announce your every move, you prove to yourself that your motivation comes from within, not from recognition or applause. This inner strength builds confidence, the kind that doesn't depend on others' opinions. The moment your vision begins to materialize, you'll realize that it was your quiet commitment that made it possible, not the noise of your words. The world respects results, not promises. When your success finally manifests, people will notice. You won't need to explain how you did it, because your achievements will speak louder than any explanation could. Those who doubted you will watch in silence, and those who believed in you will understand that your silence was not secrecy, it was discipline. In a world where everyone is eager to announce, those who remain silent hold a mysterious and commanding power. Their actions reveal what their words never could. That is why silence protects your vision. It keeps it alive, strong, and ready to shine when the time is right. Every thought you entertain and every word you speak carries energy. That energy is the force that builds your future. When your attention is scattered between talking about your dreams and actually working on them, your creative power becomes divided. The truth is simple but profound: energy flows where attention goes. If your focus is on explaining what you plan to do, then your energy is being spent on words instead of action. The more you talk about your goals, the less drive you have left to achieve them. Great achievements demand concentrated energy, energy that is not wasted on unnecessary discussion, but directed toward deliberate effort. The mind is a workshop where ideas are transformed into reality. But this workshop functions best in stillness and focus. When you allow your attention to drift toward seeking approval, explaining your plans, or defending your dreams, you drain the mental fuel needed to bring those dreams to life. Talking gives a false sense of progress. It tricks the mind into feeling accomplished when, in truth, nothing tangible has been done. Silence, on the other hand, keeps your inner fire contained. It turns your thoughts into power and your intentions into momentum. When your energy is focused inward, every action becomes more meaningful and effective. The human mind is like a magnifying glass. When you hold it steady, it concentrates light strong enough to ignite a flame. But when it moves constantly, that light loses its power. The same is true of your attention. Each time you share your goals with others, your mental lens shifts, dispersing the power that could have fueled your progress. Focus creates intensity, and intensity creates transformation. When your attention is centered on your work, not your words, every step you take becomes a spark that moves you closer to your destination. Another truth about energy is that it grows stronger through consistency. When you remain silent about your plans, you eliminate the distractions of external opinions. You stop worrying about who believes in you or who doubts you. Your energy stops leaking through conversations and comparisons, and instead, it flows continuously into your actions. You build momentum quietly, day by day, without interruption. That steady flow of energy becomes the force that propels you beyond obstacles and keeps you committed even when progress seems slow. There is also a psychological law at play here: what you give attention to expands. If you focus on fear, you'll see more reasons to be afraid. If you focus on doubt, you'll attract more uncertainty. But if your attention is fixed on consistent, quiet effort, success becomes inevitable. The mind is a servant that obeys your dominant thoughts. When you choose to direct your thoughts toward doing instead of talking, you awaken your subconscious mind to start finding solutions, opportunities, and pathways to success. Energy guided by discipline becomes a creative force that cannot be stopped. The difference between dreamers and achievers lies in where they invest their energy. Dreamers spend it talking about what they will do someday. Achievers spend it working silently until their dreams become visible. Every word spoken prematurely is a release of the very energy you need to succeed. Every hour spent discussing your plan is an hour stolen from executing it. The wise know that silence builds power. They move quietly, not because they fear judgment, but because they understand that every bit of energy counts. So, protect your focus as you would protect your most valuable possession. Let your attention serve your purpose, not your ego. Pour your energy into the process, not into proving yourself. When your results begin to show, they will carry a power that no amount of talk could ever produce. Energy flows where attention goes, so let your attention flow toward creation, not conversation. That is how dreams become reality. Every idea that comes into your mind is a spark of potential, a fragment of the infinite intelligence that guides all creation. When that spark first appears, it is fragile, delicate, and easily extinguished. The greatest mistake one can make is exposing that fragile spark to the cold winds of criticism, envy, and misunderstanding before it has had time to become a flame. Your ideas are your treasures. They are sacred gifts meant to be protected until they are ready to stand strong in the world. When you learn to guard them, you preserve their power and give them the chance to grow into something extraordinary. Not everyone will see the value of your ideas as you do. Many will fail to understand your vision, not because your ideas lack worth, but because their minds are not tuned to the same frequency as yours. Some will discourage you, projecting their fears and limitations onto your path. Others might imitate you, taking your concept and reshaping it for their own use. And there are those who, consciously or not, will drain your enthusiasm by questioning your motives or doubting your potential. That is why silence is a shield. Keeping your ideas private during their early stages prevents them from being diluted by external influence or destroyed by premature exposure. Every creative endeavor requires an atmosphere of belief and concentration. When you share your ideas too soon, you divide that atmosphere. You begin to second, guess yourself based on the reactions of others. Each opinion becomes a weight that slows your progress, each doubt a crack in your confidence. The creative mind thrives on faith, and faith grows stronger in solitude. When you protect your ideas, you allow your subconscious mind to nurture them freely, without interference. You build an unshakable connection with your vision, one that is powered by your conviction rather than the approval of others. Guarding your ideas also teaches you patience, one of the most vital qualities of success. You learn that creation takes time. A seed does not become a tree overnight, and an idea does not become a masterpiece without careful cultivation. The waiting, the working, the refining, all of it happens in silence. By keeping your plans private, you give yourself permission to experiment, fail, and adjust without external judgment. You maintain the freedom to grow naturally, rather than performing for an audience that may not understand your journey. Moreover, privacy breeds power. When no one knows what you are working on, you move without interference. You become unpredictable, unstoppable, and focused. You conserve energy that would otherwise be wasted on explaining yourself or defending your ideas. That energy instead fuels your creativity, allowing your vision to expand and evolve beyond what you initially imagined. The more you protect your ideas, the more clarity you gain about their purpose and potential. Eventually, they begin to take form, and when they do, your silence turns into a quiet force that commands attention. Those who learn to guard their ideas develop a rare form of discipline. They understand that not every thought deserves to be shared, and not every dream should be exposed before its time. They recognize that the world often praises results but questions dreams, so they choose to remain silent until their work speaks for itself. When their vision finally manifests, it arrives with such strength and completeness that it leaves no room for doubt. The power of their idea lies not only in its brilliance but in the quiet determination that protected it. To guard your ideas like treasures is to honor the creative force within you. It is to recognize that your thoughts hold value and your imagination carries divine power. Protect that power, nurture it in silence. When the time is right, reveal it through action and accomplishment. Then, the world will see not just an idea, but a fully realized vision that was too strong, too sacred, and too determined to be destroyed by premature exposure. Success is never born in noise. It is born in the quiet hours when no one is watching, when the world sleeps, and only your determination keeps you awake. Those who truly achieve greatness understand that the path to victory is not paved with words, but with consistent, unseen effort. To work in silence is to dedicate yourself fully to your purpose without needing recognition or applause. It is a choice to build your empire brick by brick, while others are busy announcing plans they never complete. When your work is ready, your success will make the announcement for you, louder and clearer than any words could ever do. Working in silence sharpens your discipline. It teaches you to rely on your inner drive rather than external validation. When you no longer need to be seen, you begin to focus entirely on the quality of your work. You stop comparing yourself to others because your only competition becomes the person you were yesterday. In that stillness, you find your rhythm. Every small victory becomes a personal triumph that fuels your momentum. You realize that true progress does not require witnesses. It requires dedication, consistency, and faith in your unseen effort. In silence, your mind becomes your greatest ally. You start to think more clearly and act with greater intention. You stop wasting energy defending your dreams to people who cannot understand them. Instead, you pour that energy into perfecting your craft, improving your skills, and strengthening your mindset. This quiet focus transforms you from within. Over time, your growth becomes so evident that even those who ignored you before cannot deny your progress. The world notices when results appear, but it rarely sees the endless hours of silent labor that made them possible. Working quietly also protects you from the distractions of ego. When you constantly share your plans or seek praise, you invite the temptation of pride. You may start performing for others instead of pursuing your genuine purpose. Silence keeps you humble. It reminds you that success is not about proving yourself. It is about fulfilling your potential. The greatest builders, thinkers, and creators in history understood the power of anonymity during their process. They were not focused on being admired, they were focused on becoming excellent. Their work spoke for them long after their voices went silent. When you choose to work in silence, you also move strategically. You avoid giving away your methods or alerting others to your direction. You develop quietly, allowing your ideas to evolve and your plans to unfold without interference. This invisibility becomes your advantage. You cannot be stopped if no one knows your next move. Your progress happens naturally, without resistance, until one day your success appears suddenly to the outside world. Yet you know it was years in the making. The public sees the victory, but only you know the silent battles that built it. Victory earned in silence carries a different kind of power. It commands respect because it was not sought through words but through work. When your achievements finally surface, they speak of your patience, your discipline, and your unwavering belief in yourself. You won't need to explain how you did it. Your results will become your testimony. Those who once doubted you will be silent, and those who supported you will feel proud, knowing your quiet persistence led you here. To work in silence and win in public is to understand the true rhythm of success. The noise of the crowd fades quickly, but the sound of your results echoes for a lifetime. Each day you labor unseen, you are building strength, focus, and integrity. When your moment finally arrives, it will shine brighter because it was forged in silence. Let your work be your voice and your results your roar. The quiet effort of today will become the loud victory of tomorrow. Silence is not weakness. It is one of the greatest sources of strength a person can cultivate. In silence, the mind sharpens, the heart steadies, and the soul aligns with purpose. When you step away from the noise of opinions, judgments, and distractions, you begin to hear your own voice clearly. That voice guides you toward what truly matters. Every moment spent in quiet reflection adds clarity to your vision and discipline to your actions. In a world that glorifies constant talking, those who master silence stand apart as calm, focused, and powerful individuals who act with intention rather than impulse. When you choose silence, you reclaim control over your energy. You stop wasting it on defending yourself, explaining your every move, or seeking validation from others. Instead, that energy turns inward, fueling your determination and creativity. The mind functions best when it is calm, and silence is the environment where calmness thrives. It allows thoughts to organize, emotions to balance, and goals to crystallize. You begin to move with precision, making choices guided not by noise but by understanding. In silence, you gain the strength to act wisely instead of reacting hastily. Focus is the child of silence. When you are quiet, distractions lose their power. You no longer chase approval or react to criticism. You learn to stay centered on your path regardless of what surrounds you. The absence of noise gives your mind the freedom to dive deeply into your purpose. Every great achievement, invention, or creation in history began with someone sitting quietly, thinking deeply, and working persistently away from the public eye. Silence is the birthplace of brilliance, because only in silence can ideas grow strong enough to become reality. True strength is not found in loud confidence or public display. It is found in self-control. Silence teaches restraint. It teaches you to hold your words until they carry meaning, and to act only when it truly matters. When you master silence, you master yourself. You become less influenced by external forces and more guided by internal conviction. This balance between patience and power gives you an undeniable presence, calm, confident, and unwavering. People sense it even when you say nothing, because real strength radiates quietly. In moments of silence, you also discover resilience. Challenges, failures, and setbacks no longer overwhelm you because you have trained your mind to be still under pressure. Instead of panicking, you pause. Instead of complaining, you reflect. That stillness gives birth to solutions and insights that noise can never reveal. You begin to see obstacles as lessons and pain as preparation. The silent thinker is not easily shaken, for they have learned that silence brings understanding, and understanding brings peace. That peace becomes the foundation of enduring strength. Moreover, silence allows you to listen, not just to others, but to life itself. It opens your awareness to the subtle messages and opportunities around you. When you stop speaking, you start observing. You notice patterns, possibilities, and truths that remain hidden to those lost in chatter. You become more strategic, more patient, and more effective in your actions. The quiet mind perceives what the noisy mind misses. This heightened awareness leads to smarter choices, stronger relationships, and greater success. Silence is both a discipline and a weapon. It protects you from impulsive reactions and unnecessary conflicts. It keeps your intentions pure and your energy focused. The more you embrace silence, the more control you gain over yourself and your circumstances. The world may mistake your quietness for passivity, but when your actions finally emerge, they carry unmatched power. Every moment of silence you cultivate today becomes the foundation of focus and strength you'll draw upon tomorrow. Those who master silence do not need to shout. Their results will speak for them. There comes a time when words lose their meaning, and only actions carry weight. Promises may inspire for a moment, but results inspire for a lifetime. When you let your achievements speak for themselves, you demonstrate the purest form of confidence and mastery. You no longer need to convince anyone of your worth, because your work stands as undeniable proof. The person who focuses on results rather than explanations operates from strength, not insecurity. They understand that silence during the process and excellence in the outcome create an impact far greater than any boastful speech could ever achieve. When you allow your results to speak, you are communicating through action, and action is the universal language of success. It needs no translation and no defense. Everyone recognizes effort transformed into achievement. The beauty of silent success is that it is authentic. It cannot be faked. Results reflect the truth of your dedication, discipline, and consistency. They show how many times you chose effort over excuses, persistence over comfort, and faith over doubt. The applause that follows real accomplishment is deeper because it is earned, not demanded. Talking about your goals often gives a temporary sense of satisfaction. It makes you feel as though progress has been made, even when it has not. But those who commit to letting their work do the talking resist that temptation. They stay grounded in discipline, quietly building momentum until their results become too visible to ignore. The most powerful people in the world do not announce their intentions. They reveal their success through undeniable evidence. Their quietness becomes their strategy, their results their message, and their impact their voice. Every result is a reflection of invisible effort. Behind every visible success lies hours of unseen work, countless sacrifices, and moments of doubt that were conquered in private. The world only sees the finished product, but the true victory was won long before the world took notice. When you let your results speak, you remind yourself that what matters most is not how much you talk about your dream, but how much you're willing to do for it. Words may promise, but actions deliver, and only delivery earns respect. There is also dignity in silence. When you achieve something significant without bragging, you display humility. You show that your motivation comes from purpose, not pride. True greatness is not loud. It is calm, composed, and self-assured. Those who must constantly announce their achievements are still seeking validation. But those who let their results shine quietly already possess the validation they need within themselves. The respect they earn comes naturally because the world recognizes authenticity even when it is silent. Letting your results speak also creates mystery, and mystery attracts attention more powerfully than words ever could. People become curious about how you did it, where you came from, and what drives you. That curiosity becomes influence. You no longer chase recognition, recognition begins to chase you. This is the paradox of silent success. The less you explain, the more people want to understand. The less you seek attention, the more attention you command. Your work becomes your reputation, and your results become your legacy. The world remembers those who do, not those who talk. Every moment you spend proving yourself through words is a moment taken away from proving yourself through action. Silence during the process and brilliance in the outcome create a kind of respect that cannot be denied or diminished. So keep building quietly, keep working relentlessly, and let time be your witness. When your results finally appear, they will speak with a voice louder than any boast, clearer than any promise, and more powerful than any argument. That is the language of true success, spoken not by words, but by results. When you learn to master silence, you master control over your destiny. Never tell people what you do, show them what you've done. The results will echo louder than any speech you could ever give.